The best destinations for free agent running backs right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. What's up, everyone? I'm Adam Mazer. I'm filling in for Chris Towers. Dan Schneier is just being himself. What's up, Dan?
Not much. Doing pretty well on my toilet seat over here.
There you go. Listen, Dan, if you don't listen to the mainstream, the big FFT show, if you know, you know, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's an if you know, you know.
Free agent running backs. Saquon Barkley headlines the class, and of course, you know, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, they could get franchise tagged, but these are the two top names. Where do you want to see Barkley and Jacobs end up?
I'm standing by my Barkley to the Jaguars. I really like the fit. I think he fits exactly what Doug Peterson wants from the running back position. And I like the idea of going to an offense that is already more explosive than the Giants and could be moving forward even more explosive with Calvin Ridley.
It's a bad call. They're not just, I know you don't like Travis Etienne that much, but
I hate Etienne.
even if they took Saquon Barkley, they're not just going to cast Travis Etienne aside.
Why not?
Why not? Is a first round pick average 5 yards per carry?
I'll still use him. He's an explosive back, but
that would be such a bad thing for Barkley. I mean, well, it'd be bad for Etienne, but I like to see him.
Where do you go? Where do you want to see him go?
Giants is fine.
Okay.
I think he'll be very good. Look, I think the best team that really needs a running back that I'd be excited about, I think would be the Dolphins. So I just don't think the Dolphins would use Barkley to his full potential. I don't think they'd base their offense around Saquon Barkley, whereas the Giants would do that more so. Jacobs to the Dolphins would be great, or back to the Raiders would be fine. Jacobs could fit in most places. I think a good question is, like, who do you want to see go to the Dolphins?
I don't want to see a good running back go to the Dolphins. I don't like the Dolphins' offensive line that much, and I am insanely worried about that offense if Tua is not going to play, because I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. And maybe he'll start and play, but he's one concussion away from probably being out for the year.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a guy like Raheem Mostert going back to the Dolphins.
Sure.
And, just having some streaming value or low-end starter value. Yep. Miles Sanders, what do you want to see happen with Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders, best case scenario is to re-sign with the Eagles. The Eagles are not the type of team that operate in that way. I highly doubt they're giving money out to Sanders. They don't even have money to give to him. So maybe Sanders goes to, like, Dallas and forms a 1-2 with Pollard.
So Sanders, the reason why I don't love the Eagles, they're a terrific team. Obviously, they do have some question marks on the offensive line heading into free agency and the potential retirement of their center, Jason Kelce, but they don't throw to their running backs, and they don't have any reliability at all near the goal line. I mean, Jalen Hurts is basically their goal line guy. So it's kind of like Buffalo and Kansas City. Great offense is not great for running backs. So I actually don't want to see Miles Sanders go to the Eagles. I want to see him go to a place where he can maybe catch 40 passes, nothing crazy, but have some type of role in the passing game. So, I mean, I'm just going to send everyone to Miami. I think, maybe if the Rams could get someone on the cheap.
I'll add to that and say Miami's a good fit, because I want to see Miles Sanders. I've always wanted to see him in a one-cut zone blocking scheme. And the Eagles don't really run that. They run a lot of power and gap. I think his skill set, his speed is best for that. One cut, get vertical. So Miami would be an interesting fit.
All right. I think Denver, maybe, if Javonte Williams isn't fully healthy, would be an interesting place to look out as well. How about a guy like Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny? Do those guys have anything left in them?
I love Kareem Hunt from a talent standpoint. I'm out on Penny. I think he's probably done. Injuries have caught up to him, and he's older now. But Kareem Hunt, man, if he can get an opportunity, that might be the case. Like, you need volume when it comes to Kareem Hunt, because we've already seen what he can do in a situation where he doesn't get that much volume. But we need to see him get actual volume. Miami's obviously one of the volume spots. It doesn't feel like maybe like the Rams. Like, what are the other volume spots right now?
Tampa Bay could be.
Tampa maybe, but they like Rachaad White. I don't know. Atlanta would be interesting if Atlanta could get Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, but you got Algier there. And I don't even know I don't even think Patterson. I'm not sure if Patterson is a free agent, but
I don't think he is.
Detroit is interesting to play the Jamal Williams role. I would expect a bigger workload from DeAndre Swift, but we've seen how that's gone.
Yes.
So, Detroit, for a guy, like, I wouldn't want a guy like Miles Sanders to necessarily go to Detroit. I would want a guy who has no value to go to Detroit. Like Rashad Penny to Detroit would be exciting to me.
Okay.
So if we look at this as destinations, Dolphins and Bucks, I think, are two teams that, and potentially the Giants and potentially the Raiders, are teams that have volume available. Detroit, Philadelphia,
Chicago if Montgomery leaves.
Chicago, yeah. So I think Detroit's a great one because you do have Swift, but Swift has injury history and
Yes.
workload concerns, and you have this blooming offense with this great offensive line.
Elite line.
Philadelphia wouldn't be bad for a running back, but
No.
it wouldn't be great for the reasons I outlined earlier. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think I want to see a good guy go to the Dolphins. The Bucks, I could see. Like, who do you want to see go to the Bucks?
I don't want to see anyone that I'm interested in fantasy go to the Bucks. I think that offense is going to be bottoming out. They said today they're planning to go with Kyle Trask as their starter for week 1. I know that's BS, and it won't be the same after the draft and free agency. They'll pick up something at quarterback, but my God, a Kyle Trask-led offense might score like 6 touchdowns all year.
And that just goes back to this point, I think, to end the show, Dan. It's not such a bad thing for a running back to stay where he is.
Yeah, that's a great way to close this out.
Yeah. All right, that's Dan Schneider. I'm Adam Azer. We'll talk to you next week on Fantasy Football Today in 5.